Eurosport Live Score is available on the iPhone and iPad for free. Every competition, every result, live comments. Eurosport Live Score, available on the App Store.
Well, welcome back to Levi in Finland, and let's go straight to the bottom of the track.
You really must love
and
this
hear from
place. Your
Kristoffersson.
first podium, and now starting the season with a pretty impressive victory.
Yeah, thank you. No, it's an awesome place. It's the closest I get to home. It's still far from my house, but it's close to Norway, so there's a lot of Norwegian fans and stuff. So it's really awesome to win here.
It was such a close first run. Did your fans give you that little extra push to come away with the victory?
Yeah, maybe. It's like everybody's cheering on, and it's really fun to ski here. The course and like the snow is really good, so it almost didn't feel any different from starting 1 and starting 29 in the second run. So yeah, it was really cool.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Well, a compliment there from today's winner for the piste and race officials here in Levi, providing us with a superb track. And when an athlete says it's the same as starting from number 1 to 29, well, credit where it's due to the gentleman who prepared the racetrack and piste here in Finland today. Felix Neureuter of Germany, his first race of the season, on the podium in 3rd position. Marcel Hirscher takes 2nd spot, has earned 180 World Cup points, and already leads the overall World Cup standings as he vies to take a 4th successive title. And young Henrik Kristoffersson, at just 20 years of age from Norway, wins 100 World Cup slalom points, 35,000 Swiss francs, and perhaps the front page of the Norwegian newspapers tomorrow morning. Axel Svindal, the hero of the Norwegian ski race fans, may be out for the season, but I think we've found his replacement here today, until Axel comes back, of course. Well done to Henrik Kristoffersson. Now the FIS World Cup Ski Racing Tour takes a break for a week or so whilst they travel to North America. So we'll be back in 2 weeks' time, Saturday the 29th, with the Women's Tour in Aspen, Colorado, and the first downhill and Super G of the Men's World Cup Tour in Lake Louise, Alberta, Canada. And that will be the next race for John and I in 2 weeks' time. Remember, the times on your screens are an hour earlier if you're watching Eurosport across the United Kingdom right now. But we're certainly looking forward to the first downhill and Super G competitions of the season, with the giant slalom, and this weekend here in Finland, slalom tours well underway. Congratulations to Tina Maja of Slovenia, winning the women's competition here yesterday, and Henrik Kristoffersson, the men's slalom, here today. Well, the crowd waiting for the final presentations and the final awards to our top 3 slalom skiers here today. We're heading downhill racing in 2 weeks' time, John. Lake Louise for the speed skiers. Your thoughts there?
Time to get the longboards on. It's going to be a close race for sure. It'll be interesting to see who's prepared the best. Equipment will play its part as ever. But Nick, I'm still catching my breath. We heard young Henrik Kristoffersson saying there are a lot of Norwegian fans there. There's a couple there with the biggest smiles I've seen in a long time. Great to see a new name on the top step of the podium right at the beginning of the year. Mr. Hirscher is not going to have it all his own way this year, I suspect.
Well, Hirscher, fastest man of the first run, just let it slip through his fingers on the second run. 0.12 of a second separating positions 1 and 2. Are we likely to see Hirscher in any speed competitions this season?
Absolutely. He told me when we were in Solden 3 weeks ago that he's going to do some Super Gs. It's only a question of which ones. It's not a question of if. He's going to choose his opportunities very quickly, because as he said to me himself, he's so light. Anything that's got any flats in it, like, for instance, Val Gardena, for instance, or Lake Louise, really aren't for him. So the steeper, more technical ones are where we're likely to see him put on those skis over 2 meters long and be in slightly unfamiliar territory. I know he's been doing a lot of training. He actually went to the Southern Hemisphere and trained for the speed events. So it will be interesting to see how that factor will play into his World Cup overall campaign, because I'm certain he'll be able to pick up quite a lot of points there.
Well, a good shot of Felix Neureuter in the center of our screens there. Skied great on the second run, but it didn't quite connect on the first run for Felix.
And I'll tell you why. It was plain to see there. If you watch a lot of athletes, you can tell when somebody's in pain. He's got those back problems coming back. I really, really hope that the German team physios and medical staff in this next few weeks breaks, because he won't be racing in Lake Louise in those speed events. So good news for Felix is he's got time to recuperate, try to do a little bit more physio and some other kind of work on his lower back, and he definitely needs a little bit of help with that, because we've got a long season ahead of us.
Well, Felix, who finished 8th after the first run, managed to claw his way back into 3rd position after the second, will be happy with his work here up in the Arctic Circle and in Lapland. And again, Felix, I doubt if he'll be heading to Lake Louise. Will Marcel Hirscher be heading to Lake Louise?
No. They'll be training technical events and getting things dialed in for the Beaver Creek event, because you know those guys are going to be shooting for World Championship medals there as well. So they'll definitely both race when we go to Beaver Creek for the giant slalom there, because that's the dress rehearsal for the February 2015 Alpine Worlds, which will be hosted in Colorado. So that's their next focus. Let the speed skiers take the stage in Canada for 2 weeks from now, and then the technicians will be back in action the following weekend down in Colorado.
Get ready?
Well, the gentleman on your screens is Mike Curtis. He's the master of ceremonies for the International Ski Federation, making sure that all the athletes strip down, wearing the right bibs, keeping all the sponsors happy. A very important man at the beginning and the end of proceedings in World Cup competition. It looks like we have enough time to stay for the ceremonies here. And as we said, John, earlier on, these are the three that more than likely will battle it out for the Slalom Tour title. But let's talk a little bit about those athletes that broke into the top 10 for the first time in their careers here today. Of course, Sebastian Vost-Solvag finishing in 4th position, Alexander Koroshilov of Russia taking 8th.
Yeah, I'm most impressed, to be fair, with Solvag, because he hasn't really been anywhere on the World Cup radar the last season or so. A young guy, and what's important for them as a team, because Svindal's missing, because he's broken his Achilles tendon, it means that these two young guys can keep each other company while they're on the road, keep each other race sharp, keep each other comfortable in the competition and training environment, and that really is an important element that I was very worried about when I heard that Axel was injured. So that's great news, and I think it's really good for the sport, because these young guys all now believe that it's not just about Marcel Hirscher. They can present themselves with a realistic chance of winning a World Cup race. Kristoffersen has proven that today, and I think it's opening the doors now for us to raise the whole sport to a slightly different level and open more opportunities for these young guys. I think it's been a very, very good race today in a huge number of reasons.
Well, already up on the podium is Felix Neureuter. 3rd position. He's never been on the podium here before in Levi. This is only the 7th year that we've raced the men's tour here in Finland. Marcel Hirscher, the winner last year, has to settle for runner-up position here today. 80 points for Hirscher, claiming 2nd. 100 World Cup point score, 35,000 Swiss francs. I make that around about 25 grand in UK money. Not a bad day for 2 runs of slalom skiing, but most importantly for Henrik Kristoffersen, his 2nd career win. And what a way to start your 2015 campaign, winning the opening slalom of the Tour.
Ladies and gentlemen, winners will be awarded by Mr. Santa Claus himself.
Well, be sure to stay with us here on Eurosport 2. We have more live winter sport action. We're going to take you to Moscow for the gala of the figure skating. Your commentator there will be Simon Reed. As we said earlier, both John and I will be back on Saturday the 29th of November. We're going downhill ski racing in Lake Louise. From Nick Fellows and John Clark, thank you for your company this weekend here in Finland. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. It's goodbye for now.